when you are in the NDE, did you feel, because I think you said earlier in this interview that you still had a mission. Did you connect to that mission and there was some like decision to come back and heal?
Well, for the vast majority of my NDE, as I said, I was amnesic. I had no memories of Eben Alexander's life. I had no words or language, knowledge of this earth, etc. That empty slate was very important. But I really had this feeling I was being driven around and shown everything. The only kind of free will I had was by remembering the musical notes of melodies. I was able to conjure up these various portals or wormholes that connected the levels. For example, it all started in the earthworm's eye view, a very primitive, coarse, unresponsive level. But then there came this slowly spinning white light and musical melody that ushered me up into the brilliant ultra-real Gateway Valley. And from there, of course, there's much to that Gateway Valley I've discussed before and in the book Proof of Heaven, etc. I won't go into detail right now, but in fact, that had a lot of Earth-like features. I was a speck of awareness on a butterfly wing. I had the beautiful guardian angel. I've already referred to her. And getting into knowing her identity months after my coma was crucial to proving the reality of the experience. And then the angelic choirs in that Gateway Valley provided yet another light portal up to higher and higher levels, the core realm and a oneness with the divine. I mean, it goes beyond any possible words and description, but because it's a resolution of all dualities that we would normally witness in this world, good, bad, dark, light, male, female, et cetera, all the different dualities, every bit of that gets resolved into oneness in that core realm. And that's really what I witnessed. But I was being kind of shown all this. And then to get right back to your question, my return to this earth was actually fueled because through this entire adventure, I thought, well, it doesn't matter. This can continue, it can cease, doesn't matter. And at the very end, I described 6 faces that appear to me bubbling up out of the muck. And they're important. They serve as what are called veridical time anchors, because they anchored to certain events, to people that were present in the ICU room the last 24 hours I was in coma. So, and for reasons I go into in the book, those faces, and especially the one who was not physically there, but who channeled to me from 120 miles away, a family friend. And if you'd asked me before my coma about channeling, I would have said it's nonsense. Obviously, after witnessing her full bore right there in front of me in my coma, channeling is absolutely totally real. Don't try and tell me otherwise. When I came out of it all, I had not recognized these people in the moment, but the image of their face and this murmuring of words I couldn't understand, I remember it today as if it happened yesterday. And I remembered it very freshly when I first woke up. And the last of those faces was the most important. That was the 10-year-old boy. And of course, I didn't recognize him at the time. I was very far gone from this world. But it was day 7 of coma. He'd overheard the doctors having a family conference. They said my survival had gone from 10% to 2%, no chance of survival, time to stop the antibiotics and let me go. He knew that was bad news. They tried to protect him the whole week from such news, but he ran down the hall, pulled open my eyelids, one eye over there, another eye over there, neither pupil responsive. Those of you in medicine know that's a very bad sign. The reality, though, is I didn't see him with my eyes, hear him with my ears, but his pleading with me, you're going to be okay, Dad, you're going to be okay. Didn't understand the words, but it was that sense of pleading and connection, and I knew I had to come back for him. So interesting that we named him Bond 10 years earlier, because yes, indeed, he became my bond to this earth and helped me to follow the breadcrumbs to come back into this existence. And when I did, waking up on that ventilator, trying to cough out that tube, I was kind of shocked and amazed, as were doctors and nurses. But I didn't recognize loved ones at the bedside. My brain was still wrecked. And it took days for language to really come back, maybe a week or 2 for a lot of my childhood memories to come back, 2 months for all my semantic knowledge, like neurosurgery, neuroscience, cosmology, physics, all of that to come back. But it did all come back, and very impressively proved to me how consciousness and memory are not stored in the brain at all, ultimately.
Wow, that's such a powerful story to hear your son's role in that. And it's reminding me of my wife had messages every night from our son, even before I had met her. He was telling her, I'm going to bring you guys together and we're going to become a family, and I'm on my way. And he looks just like he did in her dreams.
That is so, and that is so real. When I hear that kind of story, that bears the authenticity of true soul journey. And I hear those kind of stories all the time. Shows the importance of our relationships of soul to each other, our loved ones. And I've expanded my notion of soul group to include all those who I might have seen before my coma as my nemesis or my enemy. Because in fact, we're all here trying to teach each other deep and challenging lessons. And sometimes we perceive that as somebody's trying to get in my way. But I love your story because to me, it just affirms a very strong belief I've come to harbor after talking with thousands of people who've had similar experiences about this a business of a kind of a soul contract or agreement, that we come in and we might shift roles, incarnation to incarnation, parent child one time, child parent the next. We can switch genders, all those kinds of things. But it's always about learning and teaching. And the ultimate arbiter of these lessons is that unconditional love that we experience deep in those realms and these journeys. And people can get that out of meditation and centering prayer just as richly as from a profound NDE, if they know how to open themselves to it. So thanks for sharing that. That's an absolutely beautiful version of kind of this soul contract, soul agreement that we're all in this together. And of course, before life, afterlife, every bit of it just shows a much richer existence that we share as sentient beings.